All right, 390 Wagon Master here. So I got the Kenwood all finished up. It runs like a champ. Pretty much runs like new. And I got all the knobs cleaned up, and it's looking really good. Now, there is something that I need to do. I actually have to find this assembly right here, whether I can get the pot itself, or if I just have to buy this whole cart. I'm going to be scouring, oh, I hate to say it, eBay for that. You know, guys, how much I really dislike eBay. But that shaft is broken. I took this out on field day back in the 90s, and something hit it, or it dropped anyway. I turned my back, and the shaft was busted. So whatever, it happened. So this is not really a function that you use a lot. And so what I do is I just turn the noise blanker level fully clockwise, because as you know, on these 850s, these noise blankers suck. Anyway, when I was checking all modes and functions before I put it all back together in the face, because this stuff is kind of a bugger to get lined back up, all these little push buttons and everything, and they're held in with foam, and I cleaned this face off inside and out because it had all of that pollen and stuff in there from up in the Northwest. It was just, this radio was disgusting. Needless to say, I did not catch that my memory channel and VFO channel knob here was dirty and glitchy. You have to turn it 5 or 10 times to flip the channel once. So we've got to deal with that. Now, I can't get back there with the straws or anything just because of the way those pots are set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bonsai it. Generally, I will use a thin-walled 11 millimeter. It's a thin wall like that, but that I can't get in there with this. I can get in there with the 10, but that, you know, that doesn't work. It doesn't fit the nut. So I'm going to have to do this old school style, but we're going to get to this and clean this sucker. And I hope it's not a defective pot. Honestly, I don't ever remember it being all that good from day one. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. So I'm going to bonsai it with the needle nose, because quite honestly, I'm just too lazy to pull all this apart again and put it back together. It just was not a fun deal. So we're going to do it and see what happens. All right, let's go. Okay, so after yarding this thing out and taking a look at it, I kind of brushed it off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and we'll dry that up. But this camera is not really all that good for close-ups. But back inside here, it looks like it's got some pretty bad corrosion. And I could probably try to get my little straw down in there. But honestly, it looks like it's going to be pretty easy to take out. So I think what I'm going to do, there was a weird coating on that. What I'm going to kind of do is I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take the pot out of the board, and I'm going to work it the right way. I mean, I'm here. This radio is really not all that fun to take apart, and I just want to make sure this goes right the first time. So let's take that pot out of there. Okay, so that came out pretty easy. I figured it would. And let me get this cord out of here. I've got to reorganize my solder station here. I'm working from the left. I've never done that before. Anyway, as you guys can probably see, that's not very pretty up there. There is a lot of dark action going up there, and I don't know what causes that. But like I said, this pot's never really been all that good. So I'm going to move this one to the side. The what is this one? This is the Slope Tune. This has always been pretty good, but before we put the other one in, we'll clean that up. It's always this one that I've had the trouble with. So here's my technique. I use the CRC QD cleaner first. I like to use this to push dirt away. And, oh yeah, see? Look at that. That already cleaned up a lot of that stuff, see? You can see that? That made a huge difference already. This stuff's cheap. It's like $5 a can. And I use this as kind of a wash, actually. So I don't waste all that. I don't want to waste all my good cleaner. Look at that. That just cleans that part up like she's brand spank me new. All right. So, you know, you don't want to use deox for this stuff. Not when you're doing parts cleaning. And this is okay with plastic. I've never had a problem with it. I've had people on my other channel when I do the stereo videos, they're like, oh, no, don't use that stuff. It's like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. I've been doing it like this for years. I've never had a problem. All right. Look at all the gunk down there. That's also, I like to do this on, like on cloth anyway. So, we've got that cleaned out. But you know what? This stuff's cheap. Let's give it another blast. Yeah, see, more stuff came out. Look at that. This was really spuzzed up here, you guys. I don't know why. This is at the bottom of the radio. For the most part, you know, I took it out on some field days. Now, field day for me was when we used to go camping up at my brother's house in Staten, Oregon. Whenever he knew I was coming up, he'd put a couple car batteries out on the picnic table and fully charged, brand new. He owned a big shop there, so he'd take a couple brand new batteries out of stock and make sure they were fully charged. So I'd have a battery on the picnic table, another one ready to roll, and I would take my 850, and I had a long wire that I used to travel with. Yes, I did. Some people use have jumper cables in their car. I had jumper cables and a dipole. There we go. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So anyway, I would set this up on the picnic table and hook up to power. I'd set the 850 on the picnic table, hook up to power, and man, I'm telling you, I had fun. I would sit and talk back to Salt Lake and all sorts of stuff. Okay, so here's what I'm using now. I'm using D5, okay? And, you know, there are some wizards of smarts that say, oh, that stuff's bad. And, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'll back it up, too, with a quick blast of, now I'm using more than I usually would, but I want this thing to be right. And this is not easy to gain access at every little drop. But I got to be honest with you, I've learned to stop being cheap with that stuff, with that deox. Now I'll set it like this and let it go down into the shaft. Because see, look, it's coming back down into the shaft a little bit. I want that to all be free. I want that to have good conductivity. And it feels good. So let's wipe all this off, because I don't really want it to attract dust, right? But I highly doubt this Kenwood's ever gone out on field day with me again. That was my version of field day. Field day on channel 37. I didn't like 38. Still kind of don't, but anyway, all right, let's see. Let's get that out there. See, look, we're just kind of getting the excess out. I'm just blotting it on there. Look at this. I got stuff falling out of here. This may be defective. No, I was going to say it may be defective, but look at that. That's dirt. Anyway, I don't know how come this pot got affected like that. That's kind of crazy. You know, I'm almost tempted just to give it one more go. Anyway, I'm not I don't use this stuff as spare. I'm going to clean that out again. Look, more stuff came out. Look at that. Boy, I hope that thing's not going to pot. Get it? Pot? Shut up, Reed. All right. Sure. All right. Anyway, I used to be very, very easy on you. God, I'm trying to get my bubbles glasses to fit. Dang it. This is how I have to work, guys. 2 pairs of glasses. I got my broken readers. I'm not buying new ones yet. And my bubbles glasses. These are my bubbles glasses. So if you ever hear me say my bubbles glasses, you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I used to be really, really chintzy with this stuff. And I have learned overall, don't do it. In fact, I've even had a can depressurized before. It was so old. I didn't, I was really chintzy with it. And it finally just kind of died of old age. Okay, let's do that. And let's see if we get more running down in here. And we do. So we're lubricating all of this. We're protecting this. We're taking all of that dirt out as much as we can. And we are looking good. I'm feeling like I'm doing pretty good here. Now, I'll also do this, and some people don't really agree with me on this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because it's my shit and it's not yours. Okay, so this is a protector sealant, and I have a bottle of gold G5. This is for, some people use it for faders and stuff. I kind of do this. I do it in 3 steps. I'll use the QD first. I will use the D5, and then I'll give her a little blast of this. And of course, it all runs out the straw. I don't like these new spray bottles that these guys use. And I bought this at Radio Shack. Radio Shack actually had these on sale, radioshack.com, which is odd because, I think it's cool that somebody brought back the Radio Shack trademark. Oh my God, that feels so good. I swear, this is well worth having a can of this. I mean, these 2 cans, it's a little spendy, but I think I got both these cans for like 30 bucks shipped. They had a sale on, and I just figured, might as well support them. All their other stuff is ridiculously expensive, but once in a while, radioshack.com will have a decent sale. That feels great. So anyway, I use the QD cleaner to get all the dirt and spuzz off. Look at that. All right. And then I use the Deox, and then the D5, and I work that in. And then I give it kind of a protective blast of gold G5. And I'm going to tell you guys that, look at that. She's like new again. And, like I say, I don't really want to attract dirt. It's really weird that this one is like that. Anyway, so we're going to clean that up, set it to the side for a second. I don't think I'll pull this pot out. Looks like I can get down in there. And these don't have all of that gunk that was in there. That's pretty strange. I'm sure I'll think of what that stuff was. Okay, so again, QD cleaner. Work that in. That's a dual gang pot there. I'll work that through a few times. And maybe even down that shaft just for shits and giggles. Oh yeah, that spewed some stuff out of there. Woohoo! There we go. Oh yeah. Yep, look at all that green that came out of there. That's living in Washington by the water, my friends. Now we're just going to basically treat this as a parts cleaner. Am I splashing on my camera? Anyway, let's do that. We'll work that for a second. I know some of you guys are thinking this is overboard, but I don't want to keep taking this stinking radio apart. I want to just be done with this damn thing. I can't believe this thing runs the way it does. I am so happy. Off camera, I've replaced some capacitors. I redid some solder joints on the front. I don't know if you guys watched my live stream, but I was talking about how I had a whole row of buttons that went across, just one row of buttons that went across that face that I could not get to function properly. Look at all that. So, okay, so now this is clean because I feel a little resistance. It doesn't feel like it's lubricated anymore. It feels very dry. It has a very dry feel to it. So now let's give her a little booster shot of some D5. And let's give that a little booster, a little D5 there. All right. When you have this extendomatic straw, the enematizer straw here, I call this my enematizer, you know, you get a little bit of run in there, so I just kind of goofed that on anyway. Okay, that's starting to feel better. This is starting to feel better. Very good, very good. Kind of maybe see if it'll go down the shaft a little bit, like this. Sorry about the camera work, guys. I'm not known for my camera work. What am I known for? Oh yeah, a wealth of misinformation. Okay. All right, when it comes to that, I'm a legend in my own mind. All right, and then a little zap of the old gold. By the way, I've used this stuff on household products and stuff, so I don't care. You know, if it takes me 2 years to go through a can, you know, that's 15 bucks a year, 20 bucks a year to have all this and clean all these pots and, you know, do the work on the stereo gear that I'll do from time to time and all that kind of stuff. You really think about it, it's pretty cheap. I mean, if you had to pay somebody to do this, that would be just ridiculous, you know. Or redonkulous, as my boy says. So it's not a big deal. You go through a can in a couple of years. That's not bad. That's all good. Anyway, so I redid the some solder joints on the front face of the Kenwood back here. You can't see. I'll show you here in a minute. But I redid a few solder joints. I replaced some capacitors back there about 2007-ish. And I'm just trying to get all this extra stuff off there so we don't create a big old strap and dust trap here. And yeah, that's nice, boys. And then I went through and just for the heck of it, I took all, and it haunted me. I had one kind of screw up on me. I had to fix it. But I went through and took out and the ribbon cables. I would unplug the ribbon cable and I hit the ribbon cable. I just rubbed it with my fingers. My fingers were clean. Some of the ribbon cables, I got a little bit of dark residue off of there and plugged them back in, and that faceplate runs like she's brand spanking new. All modes and functions on this work on this radio now. However, I do, like I say, I have to get that card. All right, let's go back here, see what we got here. Wow, that's great. Look at that. That is so much better. Now, if this doesn't work, A, I'm going to be pissed, and B, then I know this is bad. But this is such a basic setup. I don't see how it could be. I'm just not sure. I don't think so. But something got in there. See, look, there's like a residue or something. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is factory lubricated, maybe. And if this was factory lubricated, maybe they used the wrong stuff, or it had some sort of a chemical reaction. but I'm not liking that. So let's put this back in there. And should we go on the time warp? I kind of like using that time warp feature on my GoPro now. That's kind of cool. All right, everything's good. Dried up. Okay. Now screw it, we'll just do it the right way. And here I got my little drippy drip going on here, of course. So let's get rid of that. Get this stuff to the side. Get our work surface cleaned up a little bit. Alrighty. Let's find some solder. I don't know if that camera angle is going to work for you guys, but we'll give it a shot. And yeah, I've never had my solder station to the left of me. I guess if I was a left-handed critter, I guess I could get away with that, but I'm not. All right, let's see. Make sure this is flush the way it was. It is. So let's do that. We'll heat up that leg a little bit. Throw that in there. This is not a double-sided board. Oh, it's going to create a bridge there, huh? This is a no bridge zone. Hope you guys can see that okay. Got some good flow there. This was a new solder I was trying here. So, what is this? This is Delta 6040 32 thousandths. 0 flux. And I wasn't sure how I was going to like that, but it has flux in it. But anyway, I wasn't sure how I was going to like that, but it's pretty good stuff. I tried some of that new green environmentalist stuff, and that stuff was crap. Good Lord, every solder joint looked like it was a cold one. All right, a little bit of residue on there. Just wipe that over there like that. Yeah, that's good to go. I think that was already on the board. Anyway, okay, she's good to go. And let me grab some QD here just to clean this little sucker out. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, boys, let's throw her back in. Ooh, we gotta use the time warp mode. Cool. Okay, boys, here we go. Let's flip on the power supply. There she is. Let's see if it runs. No. It's still the same way. See what I'm saying? Well, we tried. That must be defective. Gosh darn it. Well, yeah, that's no good. See that? I have to see if I go really slow, it won't do it. I'll kind of lean it to the left a little bit. No, I'll lean it to the right. I'll push it in. Okay, I'll pull it out. Pulling in and out, nothing. But if I Zuki it real fast, it will. So, fail. Bummer. This control's always been flawless. Okay. So, God, there was a place somewhere, I believe, in New York. Oh, this sucks. Fail. Boo. I think it's called East Coast Parts. We used to have East Coast Transit. Let's see, East Coast Parts and West Coast. I think West Coast is out. And East Coast had Kenwood Parts. So I'm going to see if I can locate one of these. I'm kind of afraid to buy a used one off of Fleabay because it could be no better. But that being said, I'm going to try to source that. So we're going to work on this, getting this one replaced, and then getting this one replaced. Well, this is a fail video. Sorry, guys. But hey, you learned how I clean pots, and that's how I do it. So thanks for watching.